What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. Big shout out to my doggy, Donny69, Don69 for coming through and boosting up the coins. So, we got some unfortunate news for you, man, regarding Martin, the Congolese conflict diamond miner, Bakole. Listen, I don't blame Cabo. Kabayel's bottled it. We know that IBF ordered Kabayel, who beat Makhmudov, man. He makes me laugh. I think his name's something like Anslecki Makhmudov. Like, dopey looking Fandorol. Dopey looking Fandorol wannabe ass dude. He beat the brakes off him. He stopped him to the body. He stopped Frank Sanchez to the body. So I was giving Caballero credit. Either way, it was ordered Bakole versus Caballero for the IBF final eliminator. The winner of that would be then mandated for Daniel Maximus Danelius Dubois. Unfortunately, here's the bars. Agit Kabayel has now bottled and pulled out of the purse bids on the last day, essentially. On the day of, actually, I believe. On the day of the purse bids for his final IBF eliminator versus Martin Bakole, which was set to determine the next mandatory, blah, 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 blah. Bakole and versus Zang is now likely to be ordered, and Zang is next in the IBF heavyweight rankings. Now, I'm not sure who promotes Kabayel, to be honest. There's a number of things going on. Hatman speculated maybe they're going to do Caballero versus Dubois, but I mean, that's not an easy fight. That's not like a gimme fight, is it? Someone was saying, oh, well, maybe Caballero's ducked this because he's going to go straight up to fight Dubois. I don't think Dubois is going to... I don't even want Dubois to go for that. I think Dubois earns now something like a Joseph Parker, who's done enough. Yeah, he boxed Wilder's head off. He did okay with Zang. He probably maybe nicked that fight. I think he lost, but that's my way out. That's how I score things. Either way, though, the fact is, people, we would have bet some serious coins that Zang would have punched the whole spark through Joseph Parker. So the fact he even survived and arguably won on rounds, he's done something. It's not like Parker's a complete scrub and you can argue he's getting better, or certainly he's in the twilight of his career. Sorry, not twilight. He's peaking now. Parker's never looked better, that's for sure. He sucked against AJ, scared to death in there against AJ. He sucked for a long time. He's come back. So the thing about Parker is that he can't punch with Tuffy. That's what it is. That's the only... It's not a gimme, though. He might be able to go in there, yeah. Dubois' feet... Well, I think Dubois gets it done, but still. There's enough there. It's not like Dubois versus Otto Wallin. It's not one of them bum of the month campaigns. It's solid. That's what I think is right for Dubois now. He's done enough heavy lifting for the meantime. Don't forget. It's not like... He's not going to have to... Bakole versus Zhang win the next. Then again, if Dubois wants to take on... Dubois will believe he will go in there with Caballero. I haven't beaten Caballero, but it's not... I don't know. Anyway, I'm not sure who promotes Caballero, but Martin Bakole is promoted by Boxer. Is Caballero promoted by Frank Warren? That's the question. Because again, Hatman speculated Frank Warren. No, that's the wrong thing to put in there. Promoter. Hatman speculated that this could be a Ben Shalom, because Ben Shalom manages Martin Bakole. So no one, Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren aren't going to want to lose one of their dudes to Martin Bakole, essentially. Caballero, SS Boxing and promoter. Promoter Frank Warren. Let's have a look here. Promoter. I don't know what's going on here, people. I don't know who his promoter is. Either way. Whatever. Forget that narrative. He's bottled it. Let's call it that. That's what we do know. We don't know his promoter. What we do know is he's bottled it. Do I blame him? I'd probably bottle it too, but come on, man. It's a fight game now. You're there now. You touched Makhmudov and the Fandorol to the body. You touched Frank Sanchez to the body. I don't think you Bacole's just stiff, man. Jared Anderson, he might... I watched that fight back here. Jared Anderson, he was making a fight of it. He looked like he was having a bad dream, man. I felt bad for Jared Anderson. He's not a punk. He didn't turn up like, for example... Yeah, let's think of a fighter who turned up and just got punked and didn't want to know. Edgar Bumlanger versus Canelo. Yeah, to be fair to Anderson, he didn't just turn up, yeah, and then get hit once and not want to know about it. Yeah, he did try to fight. The problem was Bakole was like he just nothing would move him. Bakole just didn't respect anything that was coming back, and that says something. Yes, Jared Anderson hasn't got the best resume and he hasn't done a whole bunch yet, but he's young, and I do believe Tyson Fury was sucking him off. He's going to be the next big thing. So Anderson's good. Anderson can punch enough, right? And he was whacking. It did nothing to Bakole. So after watching that, he's a horrible man to fight. He just stands there. Bakole, he's not like faffing in and out. He's just post right there. He just stands there stuck in the mud. And he's throwing these big, heavy winging shots in, 285 pounds soft. Yeah, and really, of all the people out there, there's not how many fighters really pull it off being soft. Bakole pulls it off, man. He come in there 290 pounds soft. Yeah, 290 pounds soft, and he's got cardio for days. He got punch selection for days. He's got volume for days. It's not like he's in there just doing one shot at a time. He puts his hands together. He's an awful guy to fight, and I like Danny D. And I guess it will only add to his Danny D's mystique if he deals with Bakole. But man, I'm not looking. Well, I should be looking forward to that fight, and I guess we get a winner either way. So I shouldn't really have any biases. But yeah, listen, Kabayel unfortunately has bottled it. This is the fight that did make sense, to be honest. This is the fight that made sense. What's Kabayel going to do now? I don't believe he'll get the Dubois fight. I just don't. There's no way Frank Warren's going to want Dubois in there with Kabayel and then a Bakole versus Zang winner. And if he does, if I'm not being funny here, if Dubois does that, let's say Dubois pulls off this run. Miller, Hrgovic, AJ, Kabayel, Zang / Bakole winner, which I'd have Bakole winning because Zang's gas will run out. Zang ain't gonna knock. I don't believe Zang gonna knock Bakole out. I just don't. You might say he quit against Hunter. Hunter's a volume puncher. They're hard to fight. Usyk's proven that. Yeah, these cruiserweights, the volume they bring, it's hard to fight. Bottom line, they're hard to beat. The volume guys just slap you in your mouth and you can't set your feet or whatever, or you can't find your own rhythm because you're getting slapped by a dude who's 140 pounds soaking wet. But he didn't get knocked down. Bakole's chops, from what I saw, is rock solid. So if Dubois goes through them, man, it's probably one of the better runs in history, if we're honest with ourselves here. Similar to really what Usyk's done. I'd argue be better. If Dubois cuts through Kabayel and then Bakole, that's better than Usyk's run. Because Dubois stopping these cats, sparking them. Yeah, he's doing them some serious arm. You see the plumber from Watford? You see you, Anthony John Stewart, the plumber from Watford. Danny D did you some serious arm, and you don't even want no more. He didn't want no more. Free time, all that talk about free time, he didn't want no more. He retired now, essentially. Danny D punched him into retirement. Usyk didn't do that. And this was the best AJ ever. This was the AJ I'm going to fix Usyk fight, right? Let's not backtrack now. Because you AJ Masepjules was telling me it's the best ever. Let's not, just because Danny D chewed him up and spat him out. Yeah, don't backtrack now. You got your head punched off. That's what happened. He was best ever. I agree. AJ was his best ever, and Danny D cut straight through him. So there's levels to this game, especially in the heavyweight game. I like Usyk a lot, but he is a cruiserweight. He does have the volume, but that's all he has. He can't punch for toffee, and Danny D will fix that. He only touches the body once. When Danny D fought Usyk, he wasn't even working the body like that. It was one shot. Danny D could have been in this time. Babash, pop, slip, babash. That's what he's doing. Rolling and digging to the body all day and night. Yeah, rolling, roll, just working his body all day and night. That's what he's going to be doing. For sure. Anyway, Kabayel, Bakole. What's next for Bakole? Bakole's called out Zang. I think Zang going to bottle it, man. Zang taught us a good game. Oh, man, Zang, big bang, you. And he's done some good things to some extent. What's he done? He lost to Parker. That's what he's known for now. He popped Joe Joyce's cherry, but like we all know, Joe Joyce was an accident waiting to happen. That's a fact. Yeah, he was always an accident waiting to happen. Fair play to Zang. He did that though. But he lost to Parker. It's like, come on, man. He lost credibility, and he's always running out of gas. He was arguably running out of gas against Wilder. And Bakole called for this fight. Before the Agit Kabayel fight was ordered, Bakole called for Zang. Zang was missing somewhere. Bakole wants any of these guys. And I really rate Bakole. He actually wants these fights. He's not just... maybe his sparring stories are a bit mad, yeah. But he actually wants these fights. He didn't pull out of the... For as much as Ben Shalong... Ben Shalong's a shekel strategist. Yeah, he knows he's got a winner with Bakole, so he's happy to not pull out of purse bids. When he's in there with Fraser, no power, no chin, having Clark, he's sceptical with the purse bids. Or I don't know why he's bugging with Adam Azim, but listen, Ben Shalong, he's going for it, man. His prime real estate, his Mayfair piece, Ben Whittaker, man, look at him. He got his head punched off, and that wasn't even for a purse bid. That was supposed to be a gimme fight. So he's very tight now. But with Bakole, he's willing to let, and rightfully so. There's not no one, even Dubois, there's not no one Bakole, on paper, I'd say should be scared of. Right, there's just not. Name me someone. Bakole versus Fury, what's Fury going to do? Fury might be able to negotiate the fight, because Bakole's feet aren't the quickest, but that's all he'd be able to do. He's not going to hurt Bakole, forget about that. Danny D could hurt Bakole, but Bakole could also hurt Danny D. That would be a phenomenal fight, to be quite frank. And in a way, I hope Zang doesn't bottle the Bakole fight. And the argument is, I think that's what Hatman was saying, that Zang versus Bakole, Frank Warren might not do it because he won't want to... Frank Warren manages Zang, so he might not want to spend that piece. Equally though, really the gem piece here, Zang's 42 years old. The gem piece for Frank Warren's going to be Dubois. We've been on that point. If you know, essentially Bakole is going to be getting in there with Dubois soon, you want to put your pawns in front of there now. And Zang's one of them pawns. Zang might be able to take something out of, right? Especially in the first few rounds. Zang might be able to... I think Zang's put down everyone he's fought. Wilder. All the top guys. Wilder. Joyce. Wilder, Joyce. Parker. Who else is it? Is that it? Yeah, what? Essentially all the top level guys. Hergovich. He's popped all their cherries for them. Zang has. So there's an argument there. Zang can at least take something. Take the edge off. I'd have Bakole winning that fight, and I'll put some coin on that as well. I think I'm pretty confident of that, especially in the back half. The back half, Bakole will have gas for days, and Zang will be hanging, so it'll be over for Zang at that point. But you'd like to think Zang would take the edge off of Bakole for Danny D. That's the strategic play. The strategic play here from Frank Warren is not to say, yeah, let's just try and keep all my fighters, because you'll end up, you got to sacrifice some pawns in this game. You got to sacrifice some pawns. And who knows, maybe, I think Zang's an easy... He's a southpaw, though. But then he's a southpaw, and that Dubois is a sucker for a right hand, to be fair. So, listen. The strategy for Zang's more reasonable, though. There's glaring holes in Zang. You make it 6 rounds. You negotiate 6 rounds, win maybe 3 of them, and we know Danny D comes on strong, and then you work him like a heavy bag in the back straight when he's blowing. He was blowing against Wilder, nothing was coming back. So there's a game plan. What's the game plan for Bakole? What are you going to do? He's massive, heavier than you. It's like, what's the game? I'm not sure what you do. Maybe you could bank on... Bakole has put a lot of weight on. When he fought Hunter, I think he was 250. He's 290 now. So you'd have to kind of bank on the back rounds, especially for someone like Dubois who's got a good engine. Equally... I mean, it's a fascinating fight, really, Bakole versus Dubois. Anywho, what's Kabayel going to do? I'm not interested in Kabayel now. Kabayel's lost. He's lost. He was building a cult following, if that makes sense. He was getting cult level respect. And what's he done with it? Well, he's bottled the one opportunity he had to really. I mean, has he proved greatness? Makhmudov was overrated, clearly. Sanchez. This was your chime, man. If Kabayel gone in there, I'd have bet against Kabayel bigly, but if Kabayel had gone in there and popped Bakole, it'd be like, whoa, and he'd have had the world title shot. So unless Kabayel's announced for, unless Frank Warren's chosen to go with Kabayel for Daniel Dubois, I don't know what planet he's on. What's Kabayel trying to do? And I think Kabayel is one of them Turkey man, if that makes sense. Kabayel is from the same sect as the Turkey man, so it might be one of them ones where Turkey said, "Hey man, sit down. Look at Mahmoud Shah." Yeah, Mahmoud Shah, he's been getting flown out to Dubai. Then man put him on versus 70-year-old Kubrat Pulev. That's what they've done. So it's tribal at this point. They protect these ones here, I believe. That's what we're seeing. Because Turkey should have been come out and said, "Listen, man, Cabo, get your ass in there, man. Bakole's been ordered." What's the point running boxing if you're doing... This is how it's always been. People being weird. It should be about fighting for the belt. It shouldn't be about politicking for someone else. And that's what it seems Kabayel's doing. Politicking. It's not... I wouldn't want to go in there with Bakole, but I'm not a heavyweight fighter who's been doing this, right? You've been doing this. And you'd like to think with his success against... I think he was an underdog in all them fights, Makhmudov and Sanchez. Despite coming against them odds, well, it's a different story. Sanchez can't punch and Makhmudov one-dimensional, if at all, right? Bakole's, I don't know, he's not even slow. Bakole ain't even that slow as well. It's not like he's like, whoa, like Joe, he's slow as molasses. It's not like Bakole's slow as molasses. He's got some twitch on him. Not massive twitch. He's not the twitchiest heavyweight I've ever seen, but he's not slow. That's what I know for a fact. So he's a hard night's work, a grueling night's work, I believe. That said, on that note, this has to be mentioned, people. As much as it might not be popular, it has to be mentioned that... What am I looking for here? I'm not looking for Bakole. I'm looking for... Essentially, Hunter came out. I'm trying to... Where did I see that? I saw a Hunter link somewhere. Maybe it was in here. Michael Hunter came out. Take my word for it. Michael Hunter came out. The guy who gave Boli's first stoppage loss. I'll run it again. I guess it's not getting Bakole closer to a belt. Let's have a look at the IBF rankings. IBF ranking. I don't even think Hunter's in the rankings. But me being like a boxing spiritualist, I'll call it, I do think I'd like this to get. I'd like him to. You know what I'm saying? The guy's a cruiserweight, but I guess if he's not ranked, he's not ranked. Yeah, he's not ranked, so Bakole can't fight him. So maybe we forget about that. So they've gone with Zang. There's a bunch of bums on here. Hrgovic is coming off a loss, so it's got to be Zang. But what happens if Zang bottles it? I think, honestly, going to my head now, I think Zang's going to bottle this. I do. I think he's going to take the Joe Parker fight all day. And I think that's why it's taken so long to find out Danny Dubois' next opponent, or Joe Parker's opponent, or what we got? Dubois, Zang, and Joe Parker. I think they're all Frank Warren, aren't they? So if they're all Frank Warren, no, is Parker Frank Warren? I don't know. The point is, it's being held up now. No one knows what they're doing. It should be really Zang versus Parker. That should have been done. Now it's awkward for Zang now. If Zang had to execute that rematch clause, that could be locked in and he could be safe from Bakole. Now though, he's got to actually come out and duck Bakole, which is what I think. I hate to say it, but I do think Zang will duck Bakole. I do think he will. I don't think he will, because he got offered it before, man. He got offered it back in August, and Zang went quiet. Oh, I want the Parker fight. That's what he said. Fact. Remember at the time saying, "Oh, Bakole versus Zang's been talked about." Zang came out and said, "Big bang, I bang you." And then 2-2. Oh well, no, I think the right direction for me is Joe Parker fight. So he don't want it, man. He don't want it. Is it a case where he might want it for a belt? But what doesn't make sense is Parker was the WBO mandatory holder, which he got off of Zang, who got off of Joe Joyce. So it's like if Zang wanted a direct route to a championship, he could have been activated that Parker rematch clause. Why hasn't he is the question. I don't know, but if it's not about belts, yeah, if Zang don't want to fight Parker for a belt, for the WBO belt opportunity, he's not going to want to fight Bakole for the IBF. What difference does it make? Apples and pears. If anything, that's arguably a harder route. Fighting Bakole and then Dubois is a lot harder than just fighting Parker and then a Usyk, for example, or even a Fury. Fury beats Usyk. That's what would be next. People, if I was boxing, I'm taking a Parker and Usyk/Fury route, WBO, over a Bakole and Dubois. There's nothing but tears and bloodshed in the Bakole and Dubois duopoly. Yeah? There's nothing but blood and tears in that one. Parker, okay, even if you lost, man, you ain't going to get your head knocked in. He's not going to do some serious harm, is he? Yeah? Even if Zang fought Parker, he's not going to do some serious harm. That's what he's not going to do. And neither's Usyk, and neither's Fury, man. None of them, man, are going to. So it's like, what's Zang doing? I can't think. It's strategically speaking, I don't know what he's on. I don't know what his team are doing. Zang hasn't fought since when? He fought on the 5v5 6 months ago. But he's 40 million year old, man. How much older does Zang need to be? He's wasted a whole bunch of time. He's wasting time. 41, knocking on 42. We've seen it already, people. We saw I watched this fight earlier, actually, this one here. It was Stacey Fraser versus Oliver McCall. And these guys are even older, like 58. But after seeing Mike and after seeing these two dudes in here, man, it really is a young man. Obviously, well, I'm new to the game somewhat, so I didn't understand how much of a young man sport it is. But look at these two cats in here, man. Look at these two cats. You can't do it. You can't do it. And the further you are into 40, the worse it is. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this one. People stop